Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Katrina Marie, and I'm here to make sure that you become the best possible applicant before you click submit. And if you're interested in working with me, I will leave all the links and details down below in the description. So make sure you check it out if you're looking for actual real support to help you become the best possible applicant this application season. So let's jump into the video today. I've read thousands of college applications over the last 15 years from students in over 100 different countries. And here's what nobody tells you. Getting rejected almost never comes down to your GPA only. It comes down to these 6 mistakes. They're small ones. They're the kind that you don't even notice you're making until the decision letter comes back and you're wondering what went wrong. And I'm gonna walk you through all 6 right now so you can catch them before you hit that submit button. So a quick context about me. I've been doing this work as a college counselor since 2008, and I've worked inside top international schools since 2013. And I've sat across the table from students from over 100 different nationalities, all applying to universities all over the world, UK, USA, Canada, Europe, Australia. And I've seen the applications that get in, and I've seen the ones that don't. My whole thing is I help you become the best possible applicant before you click submit. Not after, not with a panic rewrite 3 days before the deadline, but before. So let's get into it. The 6 mistakes, there's no fluff. So make sure you take out a pen and paper and you stay till the very end. So mistake number 1. Mistake number 1 is starting late. Every single year, I meet families in September of their senior year who are just now opening the college conversation for the first time. And here's the problem. It's not that you can't still apply. You definitely can. It's that everything downstreams and gets rushed. Your college list gets rushed, your essays get rushed, your test taking gets rushed, and everything just feels really hectic. And that rush work reads as rushed work. So admission officers, they read thousands of applications. They can tell the difference between a student who has taken their time to think things through versus a student who threw something together in a weekend. So starting late doesn't just cost you time, it costs you options. So it can cost you scholarship deadlines that are too close. You might miss the early decision window, or you're left applying from a place of pressure instead of a place of strategy. So if you're in grade 9, 10, or 11, and you're watching this is your sign. The process doesn't start senior year. It starts now, even if now is just having an honest conversation about what you're interested in. So let's jump into mistake number 2, rushing to take exams. Mistake number 2 is directly connected to mistake number 1. When you start late, you end up cramming for SATs, ACT, IELTS, or whatever required exam that you need to take. It's in a tiny window sometimes, and it's stacking on multiple tests, back-to-back test dates, and hoping that one of them just sticks and works out, and there's nothing that's going to come across this rush plan that you're creating. So you really need to create a testing timeline so that you're not packing all these things in last minute. And here's what actually happens when you do that. You don't just get a bad score, but you get stressed, and you get a stress score. And a lot of students end up taking the same exam 3, 4 times. They're spending more money, more mental energy. And then if they had just planned the testing timeline properly from the start. So exams should be one of the most predictable parts of your application. You should know the format. You should know what's tested. There's no reason that this should be a part of the stress timeline. If anything, there shouldn't be a buffer for a bad test day. You should be able to avoid any schedule conflicts by simply just making sure that you're planning ahead. Or simply needing a second attempt if you need to reach a higher score, you have time to buffer that in your timeline. So build that buffer, make sure that you're setting yourself up for success, not a rushed exam just because you need a score to submit. So your future self, trust me, will really thank you on that. Here's mistake number 3. Essay development isn't thorough enough. So this is a big one. I want to be really direct with you here. A first draft is not a final draft. And too many students treat their personal statement like a 5-paragraph school essay. They write it once, they fix a few typos if ChatGPT catches that, and then they just submit. So your essay is the one place in your entire application where the admission officer hears your actual voice, not just your grades, not just your test scores. They actually get to know you. And most students waste that space writing what they think sounds impressive instead of what actually is true. So through essay development, what that looks like, it's multiple drafts, getting feedback from someone who isn't your parent, because Parents, as much as they love you, they tend to either over edit or under edit. And sometimes your voice doesn't come through, it becomes somebody else's voice. And it looks like cutting your favorite sentence because it doesn't serve the story. It looks like starting 6 weeks before the deadline, not 6 days. So you give yourself that freedom to feel a little bit more relaxed and your authentic voice can really show. So if your essay could be about literally anyone, it's not doing its job. The goal isn't to sound impressive. The goal is to sound like you, specifically you, in a way no other applicant could have written it, not even ChatGPT. We really want you to take ownership because it's the only part of the application where you have 100% control of the outcome. Not the test scores, not your GPA and grades, not anything else. This is where you get to control it 100%. So take your time, make sure you get proper support from somebody who knows exactly what the question is asking. Take your time, read it thoroughly. Which brings me to number 4, not reading the directions carefully. It almost sounds too simple, but I promise you, it happens constantly, not reading the directions carefully. Every application platform, every personal supplemental essay, every portal has specific instructions. They have specific word counts, they have formatting requirements. Answer this and not that. And I see students go over the word limits, answer the wrong prompt, upload the wrong document, or skip a required field because they're moving too fast and assuming that they already know what's being asked. Trust me, this is one of the biggest things I see where an application is rushed and then you don't have time to read the instructions properly because you're stressed and overwhelmed and your brain is like in overdrive. So admission officers, they definitely notice this. Not reading directions signals something to them, whether it's fair or not. It signals that you might not follow through on what you might not pay attention to in detail. And in a competitive application pool, that's an easy way to get moved from the no pile to a completely avoidable reason, right? So before you submit anything, and I literally mean anything, reread the actual instructions, not what you remember them to be, but what they actually say. This is going to serve you in the long run, and you're going to be so grateful that you took your time to read thoroughly through the application. So, mistake number 5. Mistake number 5 is picking a major because it's the cool one, right? Everyone in your friend group is applying to it with nothing real behind it. So right now, certain majors have a kind of social status, whether it's business, computer science, psychology, and I understand that pull. But when I ask a student why they actually want to study something, and the honest answer is, I don't really know, it just sounds good, or it sounds like it's a safe option, that's the problem because admission officers ask the same question and a vague answer leads to a vague applicant. Here's the test I want you to run on yourself. If you can't point to something you've actually done, whether it's a project, a class you've taken, a competition you've participated in, a job you had, volunteering, anything that connects to this major, you don't have a case yet. You have a preference, and preferences don't always get you in. Evidence does. So this doesn't mean that you have to have founded a company at 16 years old. It means your interest needs to show up somewhere outside of just saying the word out loud. Go get a little bit of real experience before you build an entire application around this narrative, around a major you never actually tested. That's going to serve you in the long run, and you're going to be so grateful that you did that. And mistake number 6. This is probably one of the most important ones. Not knowing why this university is on your list, okay? This mistake, I probably see it the most. Students who don't actually know why they're applying to a specific university beyond knowing the name. I ask students all the time, why this school? And the answer is often some version of, it's well ranked, or everyone heard of it, or all my friends are applying to it. And that's not why, that's a reputation. And universities can tell when you've done zero real research versus when you actually understand what makes the specific program, the specific campus, the specific opportunity a fit for you. Generic answers get generic responses. When your why this school essay could be copy pasted into 10 other applications by just swapping the name, that's the clearest sign you haven't done the work. The fix is so simple. Even if it takes effort, go find the specific professor, a specific research center, the specific class that you're interested in, the specific culture that actually connects to what you want. Prestige is not a strategy. Fit is the strategy. So let's recap quickly. Starting late, rushing your exams, essays that aren't thorough, not reading the directions, and choosing a major with no real experience behind it, and not knowing your actual why or university beyond the name, here's the thing about all six of those. Every one of them is completely fixable, and every one of them is more common than you think. You're not behind because everyone else is. You're behind because nobody laid out the actual roadmap for you until right now. So, if you want that roadmap, if you're ready to become the best possible applicant before you click submit and you want to apply with confidence instead of fear, doubt, stress, I work with students one on one to do exactly that. And all the details on how to work with me are linked right below this video. So tell me which one of these six hit closest home for you. Tell me in the comments, and I read every single comment you guys post. And I'll see you guys in the next video.